Hello, I'm Nicholas M. Kelly from the Department of Rhetoric here at the University of Iowa. In this lesson, we're going to learn the basics of digital audio recording. In specific, during this lesson, you will learn how to record an audio file with Beautiful Audio Editor and how to download that file for editing later. These lessons will help us when we want to learn how to import, cut, and edit multiple audio files. For this lesson, it's recommended you have a laptop with a built-in microphone. You will also need the Google Chrome browser. Google Chrome is the only browser that will work with BAE, so if you do not have Chrome, you will need to install it or use a computer that has it installed. If you don't have a laptop with a built-in microphone, there are some other options you can consider. You can check out a laptop with a microphone from the UI libraries, or a dedicated headset or USB microphone could be another option. If you have one, you could also consider using a USB audio interface for this exercise, though that is a far more advanced option. Along with our microphone setup of choice, our lesson will require Beautiful Audio Editor. You can see a link to Beautiful Audio Editor on this screen. BAE has a number of features that will be useful to us as we learn about audio recording and editing. It will allow us to record audio directly in our browser. It will allow us to cut and edit audio, enabling us, in our second lesson, to fix recording mistakes. We can adjust the volume of our recordings in BAE and even adjust volume over time, enabling us to fade audio in and out. As we will see in our next lesson, BAE can also handle multi-track recording. It has built-in audio effects and allows us to import and export audio files so that we can save our recordings to our computers or add other sound files to our recordings. If, after this lesson, you decide you might want to explore more advanced recording tools, you can consider free options like Audacity for PC platforms or GarageBand for Mac computers. Both of these programs will offer more options than BAE, but the concepts we learn from BAE will apply to both these platforms. Go ahead now and take a moment to open the BAE site in another window. I recommend you pause occasionally to reference the BAE site and follow along as I go over some of the elements of the BAE interface. In the image of the BAE interface here, I have marked a number of features we will reference during this tutorial and onward. First, near the top of the image, you can see a track in the BAE interface. The shape in the track image is called a waveform. It shows the volume of the recording over time. Each imported or recorded track you have in BAE will have its own waveform. In the bottom center of the screen, you can see the record button. When you press this button, BAE will begin recording a new track of audio. In the top left of the screen, you can see the play button, which will begin playing your audio, as well as the return to start button, which returns you to the beginning of your recording. Note that you can also use the spacebar to play or pause a track. Lastly, beneath the waveforms for all the existing tracks, you will see a button that says Import. This will allow you to add an audio file from your computer to BAE. This can allow you to add in outside audio files to your BAE project or reuse work you have previously recorded. We will take advantage of both these possibilities later. If you haven't opened BAE yet, go ahead and do so. If you have BAE open, go ahead and press the record button. If it hasn't already, your browser will ask permission to record audio through your microphone. Give it permission to do so. Talk into your mic as BAE is recording. Make some noise. When you stop the recording by pressing space or pressing the stop button, the waveform for your track appears. One of the advantages of recording software like BAE is that if we make a mistake while recording, we can also try again. If, while recording in BAE, you decide you want to try again at recording, simply stop the recording and press the record button again. You can always click on the old track and press the delete button to remove the old track. You can even drag your new recording into the old track if you want to add a new recording onto the same track as the old recording. All of these capabilities are things that will help us as we begin putting together our podcast project in the next lesson. No matter how you are recording audio, there are some techniques that will help make your recordings sound clear and polished. First, always record in a quiet space. Next, find the right distance from your microphone that lets you record at the proper volume. You want to be loud enough so that you can be clearly heard, but not so loud that your voice sounds distorted. This is called clipping, and you can tell your recording is clipping if the waveform ever fills up the entire track bar in a recording. As you record, make sure you are not so close to the mic that you make any noise by breathing on it. Remember to stay calm when you're recording your lines. You can always try again later, and we will learn how to edit our best takes together. Lastly, as you are starting or stopping recordings, be careful never to press the space bar hard enough that it can make a noise that shows up on your recording. While we will later learn how to edit this out, it can be a distracting thing to hear in a recording, and pressing softly on the space bar to stop recording saves us editing time later. When you're done recording or editing a track, the last step is always to export it so it is safely saved on your hard drive. On the top bar of BAE, you can see a pair of buttons labeled .wav and .mp3. These buttons allow us to save our recordings as either a WAV or MP3 file. While WAVs have better clarity than MP3 files, they are also much larger. MP3s will allow us to save our recordings without our files getting too big, and that will be fine for our purposes here in class. Now that we've learned a bit about recording, it's your turn to create an experiment. You will utilize the audio recording skills we have learned to create and download a simple audio recording from Beautiful Audio Editor. Begin by recording some audio using BAE. In your recording, say hello. Tell us your name, your hometown, your major, and any experience you have with audio recording. Then, download that audio as an MP3 file and upload it to the Activity 2 assignment on Icon. This will ensure you know how to do everything required to be successful in the second half of our audio editing lessons.